Hi guys, and a welcome from me, Championship Manager 0102. What are regens? Well, let's go through it, but I thought I'd do a quick video on specifically about regens. I have hit on this on previous videos, but if someone's looking specifically to know about regens, you've come to the right place. So a regen is just someone that reappears after the original person has retired. So what we'll do is we'll use this quick game that I've just loaded up, set up, as a good base. So we'll take Ronaldo as our base. We can take anybody, but I'll take Ronaldo because he's one of the oldest players. So if Ronaldo retires, which he probably will in this particular game within the next year or two, he will come back into the game. He'll come back as a different name, clearly, a different date of birth. He won't necessarily come as a youngster, I should point that out. He will come as either a youth academy to somebody. Now if he does come as a youth academy, he will clearly come as a youngster. But I sometimes think that when a regen comes, he sometimes comes back at a team, not necessarily as an under 20. So they'll either come back as a team, straight into a team as an academy player, or maybe a little bit older, or they'll come back as a free transfer. If they come back as a free transfer, you're laughing, because if they come back at a team and you're trying to buy them, they ain't going to want to join you, not initially anyway. So Ronaldo, how would you tell if you found the regen of Ronaldo? You're looking at three main attributes that you've got to remember, as well as his nationality, Portuguese, as well as his position. You look at three main attributes: his balance, his bravery, and his flair. So for quickness, 20-18-20. I understand aggression is also repeated, but let's just forget that for a moment, because I'm not 100%. So balance, bravery, and flair. He could potentially come as a different nationality, but that is only if he has a second nationality, which Ronaldo doesn't. But there is something like a 5-10% chance that he could return as that. So let's say he was Portuguese/Spanish, hypothetically. He could come back as a Spaniard, I think. I think it's something like really fucking minimal. It's something really stupid. Let's just predominantly say, and I also think that's only if they haven't been capped. So even if they've got a second nationality, they'll still come back as their primary one if they've been capped by the second. So you should be okay. So let's say now then, Ronaldo retires at the end of this season, hypothetically, because normally it'll be at the end of the season that they retire, unlike the ODB when they used to retire mid-season. So basically, he will return either as a free transfer, but predominantly he will return in Portugal, and he'll come back as in a Portuguese team. Now, obviously, even if you haven't got the Portuguese League open, which I haven't on this demonstration, which isn't necessarily an issue, but basically, what I'd do is I'd go through all the Portuguese teams. You've got to think to yourself, you've got to also locate the secondary Portuguese teams, not necessarily just the top flight. So you've got to somehow get to them if you can. If you know the name of a Portuguese team, top of my head I don't, but and then you can get to a big list of them over here. So predominantly I'll go to the top flight. What would be the top flight? Benfica, and I would look at the Benfica strikers. I'd look at him and I'd think, well, that's not him because he's Brazilian. I would look at him, well, that's not him, and I know that all those three players, I know that his regen has not appeared at Benfica. This, you might think, obviously there's nobody there, you might think this is a long arse way of looking, and it can be, but it depends how badly you want to try and find that regen. You know, that's the bottom line. Let's try and find, right, there we go. So I find a Portuguese striker. First thing I'm looking at is his balance, bravery, and flair. Well, I know that's not him. If you have found him, what you think is him, just to clarify, look at his history. And if it's, let's say you're in season 23-24, and he's just appeared at a team with 23-24, you know he's new into the game. So there is one thing you can do on the Nick Patcher. I personally choose not to do this. Is you can ensure that a regen only appears in key countries with a good reputation. So you could theoretically have Ronaldo retire as Man United and regen at an English club. I personally don't like that. I like to keep it a little bit basic, or keep it a bit to the originality of going to Portugal. So Messi would regen in Argentina, Thomas Müller would regen in Germany, and so on and so on and so on. In my three-man game, when particularly Ronaldo and Messi, and they retire, the race is on to see who can find them. So what I'll do is, let's say Messi, I'll write in an Argentinian team that I always remember, Boca Juniors, and I will look at a load and I'll try and look for him, because he'll also have the same foot. Sorry, I should have pointed that out. He'll be either foot. Now, in most of the updates of CM, Ronaldo is a forward, left, right, centre, something like that. Very rarely he is a striker, in all honesty, but he is a striker in this particular update, which is the April 2022. So that is regens. Now, when do regens appear? Well, they can pretty much appear most of the year, but there are a couple of main times that they appear. You'll know that in the MLS League, I think they end towards the end of the year. You'll see there's a little bit of an update on your game in-game data. You'll find that there are some regens done then. I believe that is regens within the American leagues and all the leagues that end roughly then. You might get one roughly around March or April, a real small one, because I think you've got Swedish leagues. But predominantly, you're looking at August, September. Now, recently, the biggest pause update is in August the 27th. It takes like an age to get through it. You'll find that is a key date. But that don't mean that if you're looking for the Ronaldo regen and it's you've just gone past August 27th, you can't find him. It could be another week or so, and then he could appear. So you might look for all these teams and have to do it all over again. And as I said, you know, you really need to broaden your search. Sending a scout to Portugal will help. That will help. If you're one of these that uses scouts, which I do in terms of my freeman game. So it is a lot of persevering. Now, something I did pick up on, I don't think I can get to it at the start of a game. In fact, let's just go for a couple of continues. We might be able to see it. Do you remember keywords? We wrote about keywords, but there was one keyword that somebody may wonder, why would you have this? And I will explain. Let's just put it in. If I can reach my fucking mouse. No, nobody retired yet. But basically, again, something I put out on one of my previous videos. It has all the players that are retired at the start of a new season. Now they're still technically a player. They are retired. You can't buy them, but they're going to disappear. So what you could do is you could look at all the retired players, make a note of these key players that you want to look for, and then when that player disappears, because there is a window of time between that player disappearing and that player reappearing. There's clearly a window of time. He ain't gonna it ain't like one of those old Amstrad games where he retires and instantly comes back. There is a period of time, and you know, it's normally, like I say, long pauses or any data updates, anything like that. You'll get your regens. So that is CM0102 regen. If you've got anything to add that I've missed, which the chances are I have, then pop it in the box down there. If you've got any videos you want, if you've got anything you want to share with us, throw it down in the box down there. Till next time, guys, it's taken easy from me.